Dear friends, today we'll discuss Education Policy 2020, which is relating to higher education. Earlier, we discussed Education Policy 2020 relating to school education. The planners of Education Policy 2020 has envisaged the vision of higher education, that is, multidisciplinary colleges and universities in each district of our country. Colleges will be autonomous, degree awarding institutions which can be converted into universities through graded development. Unitary colleges will be closed. Establishment of NRF, that is National Research Foundation. Light but tight regulation by single regulator. My dear friends, these are the 5 points which has been described as a vision of Education Policy 2020 relating to higher education. Now we deal with what is provided under new Education Policy 2020. The main features. Number 1 is university means a multidisciplinary institution of higher learning that offers undergraduate and postgraduate programs with high quality research and community engagement. The universities will be two types. One is research intensive universities. Another one is teaching intensive universities. Those universities which will emphasis on research and teaching both. Whereas teaching intensive university where a greater emphasis will be on teaching but they will also conduct research. It is envisaged that by 2040 all colleges and universities will be multidisciplinary and their strength will be minimum 3,000 students in each institution. It is planned that gross enrollment ratio will be 50% by 2035. It is also planned to establish outstanding public institutions in large numbers in country. They will act as a model colleges and universities in respective area. Gradually, by 15 years, all affiliating universities will be closed. They will be converted into multidisciplinary universities. The multidisciplinary universities will have academic, technical, professional and vocational education in one place so that the student can choose subject of his or her choice. All higher education institutions will focus on research and innovation by setting up startups, incubation centers, technology development centers, establish industry academic linkage, interdisciplinary research in the area of social issues, public health, along with production, agriculture, law, social sciences and humanities. My dear friends, in Education Policy 2020, it has been provided that what should be the outcome of higher education that is provided. It is expected that a student after completing graduation, one should have developed following attributes in his personality. First is critical and imaginative thinking in the area of science, technology, humanities, commerce, vocational education of his or her choice. Second one is one should have problem solving ability. Third one is one should have communication skills and teamwork attitude. And fourth one is one should be socially and morally aware about ethical behavior and practice. It is also provided that one should be innovative by approach and research oriented. These are the outcomes of a student who has undergone through new education policy and completed his course through new education policy which is relating to higher education. Now we come to duration of the course. The undergraduate degree program will be either of 3 years or 4 years duration with multiple exit options. In this period, 3 or 4 years after completion of 1 year, a certificate will be issued to the student. After completion of 2 years, a diploma will be issued to the student. After completion of 3 years, degree will be issued to him, provided he has obtained the minimum required marks to pass particular course. Student concern. 3 years degree course will be sufficient for appearing in any competitive exams. It will be a full-fledged graduate degree. If opts to complete 4 years, then it will be research degree. In this year, major area of study will be research on a particular subject. The PG master degree program will be of 2 years for students who have completed graduation course in 3 years, and PG program will be of 1 year who has completed 4 years graduate research program. There will be no MPhil program in any university. For doing PhD program, one should either have master degree or 4-year bachelor's degree program. The institutions may start integrated program of 5 years, which will be known as bachelor and master degree program. Now we move to support for students in new higher education policy. The teachers will be fully trained to act as mentors and guide of the students. Number 2, the counseling of the students will be integral part of day-to-day teaching of the teachers. The students from socially and economically backward students will be encouraged to complete their higher education of their choice. Appropriate financial, moral, emotional support will be given. In order to successfully run ODL and online education program, the courses, teaching modules, study materials and online lectures will be prepared, and it will be ensured that the quality of ODL and online education program is nowhere compromised. All educational programs, either offline, online or in ODL mode, will be students friendly and will achieve global standards of quality. Internationalization. All higher education institutions will make efforts to attract international students in the area of studies like engineering, health sciences, computer and IT, and other Indian courses like astrology, yoga, Ayush, arts, music, history, culture, etc. India will be promoted as global study destination, providing premium education at affordable cost, thereby helping to restore its role as Vishwaguru in the world. Every higher education institutions will have separate international students office to welcome them, support them and encourage them to pursue their studies and research in India. The collaboration with international universities in training and research, student exchange, faculty exchange and joint research will be promoted. The top 100 universities of the world will be invited to open their campuses in India. Similarly, the top higher education institutions of India will be allowed to open their campuses overseas. Now, motivated, energized and capable faculty. The teachers will be fully trained to act as mentor and guide of the students. The counseling of the students will be an integral part of day-to-day teaching of the teachers. Regular training, counseling and updating knowledge of faculty members. All higher education institutions will be equipped with basic infrastructure and facilities, including clean drinking water, clean working toilets, blackboards, offices, libraries, labs, and pleasant classroom space and computers. Every classroom shall have access to the latest educational technology that enables better learning experience. Teaching, counseling, and research will be an integral part of duties of a teacher. There will be an adequate student-teacher ratio so that no excessive workload is imposed on teachers. Practice of two-way teaching theory and student-centric teaching methodology will be applied. Excellence in teaching, counseling, and research will be properly awarded. Now, teacher education. Teacher education system in our country will be completely changed. The present structure and working of NCT will be closed. In order to improve and to reach the level of integrity and credibility required to restore the prestige of the teaching profession, the regulatory system shall be empowered to take stringent action against substandard and dysfunctional teacher education institutions that do not meet basic educational criteria. After giving 1 year for improvement by 2030, only educationally sound, multidisciplinary and integrated teacher education program shall be allowed and rest will have to be closed. The 4-year integrated B.Ed program offered by multidisciplinary higher education institutions will become the minimal degree qualification for school teachers by 2030. The 4-year integrated B.Ed will be a dual major holistic bachelor's degree in education as well as specialized subjects such as languages, history, music, mathematics, computer science, chemistry, economics, art, physical education, etc. Beyond the teaching of cutting-edge pedagogy, the teacher education will include grounding in sociology, history, science, psychology, early childhood care and education. Foundational literacy and numeracy, knowledge of India and its values, ethos, arts, traditions and more. The higher education institutions offering 4-year integrated B.Ed may also run a 2-year B.Ed for students who have already received a bachelor degree in a specialized subject. 1-year B.Ed may also be offered for candidates who have received a 4-year undergraduate degree in a specialized subject. Scholarship for meritorious students will be established for the purpose of attracting outstanding candidates to 4-year, 2-year and 1-year B.Ed programs. In order to maintain uniform standards for teacher education, the admissions to pre-service teacher preparation program shall be through suitable subjects and aptitude tests conducted by National Testing Agency and shall be standardized, keeping in view the linguistic and cultural diversity of the country. All fresh PhD entrants, irrespective of discipline, will be required to take credit-based course in teaching education. Pedagogy, writing related to chosen PhD subject during their doctoral training period, exposure to pedagogical practices, design curriculum, credible evaluation system, communications, and so on will be ensured, since many research scholars will go on to become faculty or public representative communicators of their chosen disciplines. PhD students will also have a minimum number of hours of actual teaching experience gathered through teaching assistantship and other means. PhD programs at universities around the country will be reoriented for this purpose. Vocational education. The 12th five-year plan 2012 to 17 estimated that only a very small percentage of Indian workforce in the age group of 19 to 25, that is less than 5%, received formal vocational education. Whereas in countries such as the USA the number is 52%, in Germany it is 75%, and in South Korea it is as high as 96%. These numbers only underline the urgency of the need to hasten the spread of vocational education in India. This policy aims to overcome the social status hierarchy associated with vocational education and requires integration of vocational education program into mainstream education in all educational institutions in a phased manner. Beginning with vocational exposure at early age in middle and secondary school, quality vocational education will be integrated smoothly into higher education. It will ensure that every child learns at least one vocation and is exposed to several more. This could lead to emphasizing the dignity of labor and importance of various vocations involving Indian arts and artisanship. By 2025, at least 50% of the learners through the school and higher education system shall have exposure to vocational education, for which a clear action plan with targets and timelines will be developed. Research. Now we come to research. In order to promote and regulate research, National Research Foundation will be established. The main functions of National Research Foundation will be: the primary activities of the NRF will be to fund competitive peer-reviewed grant proposals of all types and across all disciplines, to fund for research facilities at academic institutions, particularly at universities and colleges where research is currently in a very initial stage, through mentoring of such institutions. Act as a coordinating agency between researchers and concerned department of government and industry with respect to identification of area of research and also updating the latest development in the research took place. Recognize outstanding research and progress. Regulatory system of higher education. In order to regulate the entire higher education system, except law and medicine, one supreme authority known as Higher Education Commission of India will be constituted. Under this commission, there will be 4 councils. First is the National Higher Education Regulatory Council. The council will regulate higher education sector, including teacher education, but excluding legal and medical education. This council will work on the principle of light but tight regulations and compliances. Good governance will be ensured through online and offline public disclosures of all finances, audit procedures, infrastructure, faculties, non-teaching staff, number of students, courses and placements of the students by all higher education institutions. All the informations will have to be placed on public website maintained by NHERC. Complaints and grievances from stakeholders and other arising out of such disclosures will be mentioned by NHERC in coordination with concerned higher education institution. Second one is National Accreditation Council. National Accreditation Council. This council will grant accreditation to higher education institutions based on their infrastructure, courses, curriculum, teaching, pedagogy, number of teachers appointed and their qualifications, research work of the teachers and institutions, etc. The promotion of higher education institutions will be through grading of NAC. It would be a continuous process of upgrading of higher education institutions till they reach to accepted benchmarks. Third one is Higher Education Grant Council. The Higher Education Grant Council HEGC will carry out funding and financing of higher education based on transparent criteria including the IDPs prepared by the institutions and the progress made on their implementation. The HEGC will be interested with the disbursement of scholarship and development funds for launching new focus areas and expanding quality programs offering at higher education institutions across disciplines and fields. Fourth one is General Education Council. General Education Council, which will frame expected learning outcomes for higher education programs, also referred to as graduate attributes. National Higher Education Qualification Framework will be formulated by the GEC and it shall be in line with the National Skill Qualifications Framework NSQF to ease the integration of vocational education into higher education. Higher education qualifications leading to degree, diploma, certificate shall be described by the NHEQF. In terms of such learning outcomes, in addition, the GEC shall set up facilitative norms for issues such as credit, transfer, equivalence, etc. Through the NHEQF, the GEC will be mandated to identify specific skills that students must acquire during their academic program with the aim of preparing a well-rounded learners with 21st century skills. The professional councils such as the Indian Council for Agricultural Research ICAR, Veterinary Council of India VCI, National Council for Teaching Education NCTE, Council of Architecture COA, National Council for Vocational Education and Training NCVET, etc. will act as a professional standard setting bodies. They will play a key role in the higher education system and will be invited to be member of the GEC. These bodies, after restricting PSSBS, will continue to draw the curriculum, lay down academic standards and coordinate between teaching, research and extension of their domain discipline as members of the GSC. They would help in specifying the curriculum framework within which higher education institutions may prepare their own curricula. Thus, PSSB would also set the standards or expectations in particular field of learning and practice while having no regulatory role. All higher education institutions will decide how their educational program respond to these standards among other considerations and would also be able to reach out for support from these standard setting bodies of PSSBS if needed. Now we come to conclusions. The National Education Policy 2020 is a vast document ranging from page 1 to 200. It is very difficult to conclude such a detailed document. However, the main points can be summarized in the following manner, which may be considered as objective of higher education policy also. Under this policy, the aims is that India must have an education system by which up to 2040, that is second to none, with the equitable access to the highest quality education for all learners regardless of social or economic background. The fundamental principles that will guide both the education system at large as well as the individual institutions within it are recognizing, identifying and fostering the unique capabilities of each student by sensitizing teachers as well as parents to promote each student's holistic development in both academic and non-academic spheres. The highest priority will be given to achieving foundational literacy and numeracy by all students by grade 3. Flexibility provide to learners have the ability to choose their learning subjects and programs and thereby choosing their own paths in the life as per their talents and interests. No hard separations between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic stream, etc. Multidisciplinary and a holistic education across the science, social sciences, arts, humanities and sports for a multidisciplinary world to ensure that the unity and integrity of all knowledge is protected. Emphasis on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning and learning for exams. Creativity and critical thinking to encourage logical decision making and innovation. Ethical, human and constitutional values like empathy, respect for others, cleanness, courtesy, democratic spirit of service, respect for public property, scientific temper, liberty, responsibility, pluralism, equality and justice. Promoting multilingualism and the power of language in teaching and learning. Life skills such as communications, cooperation, teamwork and flexibility. Focus on regular formative assessment for learning rather than the summative assessment that encourages today's coaching culture. Extensive use of technology in teaching and learning, removing language barriers, increasing access for Divyang students and educational planning and management. Respect for diversity and respect for local context in all curriculum, pedagogy and policy. Always keep in mind that education is a concrete subject. Full equity and inclusion as a salient feature of all educational decisions to ensure that all students can flourish in the education system. Synergy in curriculum across all levels of education from early childhood care and education to school education to higher education. Teachers and faculty as a heart of the learning process, their recruitment, continuous professional development, positive working environment and service conditions. A light but tight regulatory framework to ensure integrity, transparency and resource efficiency of the educational system through audit and public disclosures, while encouraging innovation and out of the box ideas through autonomy, good governance and empowerment. Outstanding research as a core requisite for outstanding education and development. Continuous review of the progress based on sustained research and regular assessment by educational experts. A rootedness and pride in India and its rich, diverse, ancient and modern culture and knowledge system and traditions. Education is a public service. Access to quality education must be considered as a basic right of every child. Substantial investment in a strong, vibrant public education system as well as the encouragement and facilitation of true philanthropic private and community participation. Now I switch on to suggestions. These all suggestions are my own suggestions which may be understood in right perspective. After completing 12th class, every student should go for compulsory military training and serve nation for 2 years without any remuneration either in army or in armed forces like BSF, ITBP, CRPF, NDRF, etc. There should be compulsory moral education paper up to graduation level which should teach morality, ethics, nationalism, freedom movement of India, national heroes, saints, educationists, scientists, etc. Passing of this paper should be compulsory with minimum 75% of marks. Government of India should establish National Education Finance Corporation, NEFC, which should grant loans to higher education institutions long term and short term on concessional rate of interest for creation of necessary infrastructure. Loans should be given to public and private institutions without any discrimination. It should also grant loans to needy students on very nominal rate of interest. Repayment of loans should be ensured through convenient installments. All grants and scholarships should be stopped. By doing so, there will be equal playing field for public and private institutions. The private educational institutions should be given option to run the institutions for profit or charity. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you very much.